everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Rags to Riches. And we are in sunny Spain. Well, I say Spain, it's kind of breezy, but it is 31 degrees though. And we're playing our first game, well, our second game in La Liga. We've already had one game, but we'll get through to that in a second. We've had a few transfers, a few business, not an awful lot, as much as I would have hoped, because the financials weren't that great, even though we do have 48 million. I'll go through that in a second. We've had quite a lot of transfers out. Well, let's say a few actually, and we've got about 4 million after I've adjusted the wages budget as well, which probably won't seem enough now, but that's quite an awful lot. We tried to offload quite a few players, it just wasn't working, and in the end I decided, well, we'll see how we go. We'll stick with some of the older ones. Let's get on to the first transfer, shall we? We'll go with the ones in, and we'll start off with the ones that I had no control over, because they were already future transferred for the start of this season. First one is Sergio. He's a left midfielder. I don't see the reason behind this, unless we're playing a 4-4-2. That's probably the only position he can play. He can play winger, very good stats, but if we go to a 4-4-2, that's virtually where he can play. He comes from Barcelona, this chap, from the B team. He had well, I don't think he's actually had a run in the first team at all, but he's been sitting there in the B team and he couldn't wait to go, to be perfectly honest. He was a freebie actually, so an added bonus. Not bad stats, determination, teamwork and technique all stands out, which seems a lot different to when we were in France, where we were hard to come by players with this sort of stats, really, to be fair. But quite a lot stands out. Physicals are fantastic, but 24 years old. We want to bring in young players, and for a freebie we can sell him off for another 4 million at least anyway, so that's not bad at all. Next one is Ruben Hernandez, 18 years old. He's sitting with our C team. Again, I don't see the reason behind this one as well, only that is there for the future. Again, a freebie again. Well, he's got good bravery and teamwork, but that is about it. He's not really played at all, but he does come on a free, so who am I to argue? Zivkovic from Manchester City. Freebie. He's worth 30 million though. He is 32 years old though, 117 caps, 17 goals for his country, and he can play on the left or he can play on the right, which is quite handy. But again, 32 years old, he's right at his peak, so we're going to try and use him a little bit. I was tempted to offload him straight away. 110 grand a week. Again, the salaries are very high, so we want to try and reduce it like we did with Marseille and bring in a really youthful side in. Stats wise, fantastic. Man City only played 6 games though, on 34 the previous season, but he had a very good season out on loan with Valencia. 14 assists is quite impressive, so we're hoping he's going to replicate that for us. But he played with PSG for a bit, which I wasn't aware of. I didn't realise. Many of you will know Arribas. He has come with us. He's come from Marseille. We wanted a midfielder, and to be perfectly honest, I can rely on him to fill in the gaps. He was happy to oblige. He played 75 games for Marseille, scoring 12 goals, so I was quite happy, and he was with us at FCSM. We were playing 12 though, but he was reasonably happy to come along. In fact, he jumped at the chance, to be perfectly honest. I think he was on the transfer market, which I was quite surprised at. He did play quite a few games. I mean, 75, like I said, in the 7s. He's played really well. But yeah, physicals, everything's all the same. So if you have followed us straight from FCSM, you'll know all about Arribas. This check comes from Iber. 10 million we paid for him. Fabian Granel, left winger. We wanted a youthful winger this time. I know we've got Zivkovic, but you know, he is getting older, but if he can go on the right hand side, this chap can go on the left hand side. And to be perfectly honest, I think he's already I think he scored for us in a friendly or something already. But look at them stats, they are phenomenal. Physicals, fantastic. He's got good crossing and first touch. Teamwork, even better. So, you know, it's all there. He was with Iber. Again, he's getting the assists in, and that's what we're looking for, getting the crosses in. Let's knock him in. Like I said, he's already played one game already, and he's got an assist in the first league game. Now, our right back. Now, we have tried to strengthen our back four as well. And we're not having much luck, though, to be perfectly honest. Not really much out there. But 23 years old, Mohamedou Bar, comes from Barcelona B team. He's cost us a fair bit, 20 million. But a good backup to Kemp, who was injured, but he's now back. But even so, very, very good stats on him. Physicals are marvellous. Determination, teamwork and work rate is off the charts, but 18, look. I mean, 18 out of 20, you can't get any better than that, can you really? He's been with Barcelona virtually from the get-go, so he's played with the B team. He hasn't had much chance in the A. He's played one game there, but apart from that, he hasn't had his break, so I'm hoping he's going to do well for us. Brings the ball out of defence as well, so we can carry the ball forward, which is brilliant. And 3 goalkeeper rating, nice. He has played 179 games though for the Barcelona B team and 1 for the first team, so 180 appearances he's had so far. So he's kind of untested. Well, if you say playing for the B team is untested. So that is our transfers. Now we head over to the right hand side. The players out, and this is Jose. He's gone to Real Madrid. He wanted out. He put a transfer request in. He wasn't happy that I didn't let him go the first time. I didn't really want to let him go at all. He can play defensive midfielder and central midfielder. I think we're going to miss him, but he handed the request in. He wanted to go. Already he's played 2 games. Not doing so well. He was on loan with us, with FCSM. I think that was when we were at Marseille. So he played a full season there actually. Not done too particularly well in France, but he's come back. So I was hoping to hang on to him a little bit longer, but he went for 48 million in the end. Disappointing, but that is virtually where we've got the majority of our money from, but it's pretty sad to let him go. Gelson Martins, he has gone Calgary. I couldn't justify hanging on to him, a right winger, although quite possibly I could have done with him. But the policy is to reduce the older players on higher wages. He's only on 52 grand, so he's halved his salary that he was with us. So about 100 grand a week we released, so we had to do some business there. But he's already played 3 games for them and scored a goal already. And last but not least, Almane Torre, defender, was he? Right back. I think this was a bit of a foolish move on my part, because really we are struggling for defenders, but we have got Bar, we have got Kemp at right back, so he wouldn't have been playing anyway, but it's quite consistent stats on him anyway. But about 7 million we let him go for, well, rising up to about 7.5, I think. He's gone to West Ham, but he has been a good servant for the club, but he has been with Monaco. So he was in France and we moved him back, so we moved him over to Spain. But you know, he's 3 goals in 126 appearances. It's not to be scoffed at for a defender, at least anyway, but sad to let him go. But again, he's an older player. We want to bring in some youth and bring this club forward. So overall, 58 million we bring in. Not an awful lot of transfers, I know, but my hands were pretty much tied. We couldn't really do much with the transfers. The players were getting unhappy. Why did you sell him? Why is he on the market? What are you doing to me, son? And it's like, well, what can I do? And in order to keep the team happy, I've had to keep a few. Friendlies, they're not going too bad. We won our first game against Genoa 2-1 in Independiente. We lost 1-0. We tried the 2 up front, our 2 most expensive strikers up front, Garcia and Cordero, I think it is. Disappointing, neither of them scored. But Nicholas, he was from our B team. He scored 2 in the first game. We had a friendly against Aparero Lagoa. We won 3-1. Castellijo, Garcia, the other forward, he played on his own and he scored, and Granell scoring his first goal for the club as well. Non-competitive. We played Lidador. Zivkovic scoring his first goal in a non-competitive game, with Klaus and Nicholas again scoring. This youngster's not bad at all though. I mean, like I said, he is from the first B team, and to have a backup striker, that's not bad stats at all. So I'm pretty happy with the strikers we have got at the moment. But we did play our first game and we won 4-2. Quite a bit lapsy-daisy at the back, I'm not going to lie. We were 4-1 up. Silly defensive error by Perez, who threw it out to, I think it's Basila. He had his back to everybody else. Nobody told him it was man on, or 3 men on him. And of course they dispossessed him and went round the goalkeeper. So 4-2 the score, all the same. And we got off to a great start by Osuna. Then Vinas, our defender, scoring. And Cafona scoring as well. And it was Oliver Garcia doing the business as well, again up front. So today we have got a game against Villarreal. I'm not sure how we're doing for time, so we're just going to play the one game. I think if we have time we might play another one, but I think we'll just go with the one game at the moment. Just get a way around this division. So the table, after our first game, we are lying in 12th position. Villarreal is next up. They are above us. They had a thumping 4-0 victory, I think, in their first game. But Atletico, Bilbao, Madrid and Real are leading the way at the moment. Barcelona drew the last game 2-2. Let's have a look at where we are. Well, destined to finish 7th. So they've got us down as 7th. That's not bad at all. I'm quite happy with that. I'm not going to lie. We're not near the fighting relegation, that's for sure. So newly promoted teams, Tenerife, Alves and Vallecano. They're destined to finish near the bottom. But there's a few teams in Europe though. Barcelona, Real and Atletico in the Champions League with Espanyol. I'm assuming they'll be in the qualifiers. Europa, Real San Sebastian. We want to get up there, don't we? We want to see £4 million for winning the La Liga is a pretty dire, to say the least. There was more money in France, I think. European Continental qualification. Right, okay, here we go. Top 4 teams qualify for the Champions League. 5 and 6 qualify for the Europa. 7th qualifies for Europa's second qualifying round, depending on the winner of the Spanish Cup. So we need to get into 7th spot. I'm not sure if there's playoffs. I couldn't tell you. This is sad, and this is the formation we are using. We are using that attacking midfielder role. We're going to have a look at Castro this time round. It was where is the chap? I can't remember his name. It's going to take a while getting Candido. There it is. He was playing in that role before. So we're going to have Perez in goal, although I'm very tempted to switch him out after that mistake. But we were 4-0 up at the time, so it doesn't really matter that much. So Kemp, Basila, Wouters and Claus. Santa Claus, we need another left back. We're struggling. We haven't got another left back. Francisco Xavier, he's 16 years old and we had to pull him out. And he played in the last game and he played reasonably well, it has to be said. But we need a quality left back and we're still looking. Transfers have got another week or so to go, so I'm hoping we're going to bring somebody in at that point. We've got Kunku, Fofana in the centre, played quite well together. Castro is going to come in instead of Candido. We've got Osuna and Granel out on the wings, although Zivkovic is injured slightly. He's not back to rehab just yet, but there's not an awful lot we can do at the moment, so Granel is going to have to play, slightly tired, but he played well. And then we're going to have Garcia leading the line. I am very tempted to bring Nicolas in, but since we're playing at Villarreal, they're going to be a little bit tougher than Getafe. Right, so without any further ado, let's start our game against Villarreal, and let's see if we can pick up a second win in the league. Okay, this is the side that, they've got Bolete up front. I was looking at him, he was out on a freebie, and I was very, very tempted, but again, 34 years old. We're not going to pay that amount of money. Well, we're not going to bring anybody in that old, because we are looking for the youngsters. Have they got anybody that's I may know? Probably not. Not even from the other teams. No, nothing at all. So a 4-4-2 formation. They're coming quite defensive. Telltale expect to pick up where they left off. Okay, they're reasonably happy with that. Nice to have De Silva back as well as my number 2. He's out on an extensive language course at the moment. We are aiming for the top half. 7th position is what we're really after, which we are sitting in at the moment. And as it stands, we're not really doing an awful lot. Goal kick, Perez to Vasila. Let's not mess with it. Put it out to Kemp. Kemp, quite a good defender. We're looking to bring Barr in as well, so between the pair of them. But it's our left side is the situation. We have got great ball over the top. Grinnell's over there. Nobody in the centre though. But Asuno, oh, he scored his 2nd goal in 2 games. And, well, a mistake at the back, you want to say. But Grinnell, he crosses it. There was nobody in the centre. I mean, it was overhit, too close to the goalkeeper. Garcia couldn't get it, but Asuno grabs the rebound off one of the defenders. And there we go. We are 1-0 to the good and sitting pretty in 3rd spot. Nice. Right, one highlight of the game so far. 64% possession, which is nice. 3 attempts, 2 on target. There's not Garcia hasn't really had a look in at the moment. But let's do this for the fans. And I'm just going to say, I believe in you. I believe what you've got what it takes. Not really that interested though, to be perfectly honest. Villarreal kick off the second half. We're just going to tell them just to get a little bit creative. We have the ball in their half, and the ball gets knocked over the top. Now let's not mess around with it, Wooters or Wooters. Go down the line. Oh dear! Don't mess around with it. Go wide. Nice. Klaus or Klaus Castro. It's a bad ball from Fofana. And they're coming forward again, but we are pegging them back a little bit. They're just expecting to hoof that ball forward, which they probably will do. All the way back to the goalkeeper, Strakasha. And there's the ball over the top. Goalkeeper, where are you, son? Belletti. That is rubbish. That is the sort of thing we're being stung at the back. The midfield is nowhere. That is poor. Over the top, one long ball. What our defender should have got there. I mean, there. Why? Bellotti gets in front of our defender. Is that Kemp? Disallow it. Wishful thinking. It's a good goal, well taken, but even so, not happy at all. Demand more. And Villarreal are pegging us back again. Oh, good play by Castro. Asuno. You're going to play it over there. Garcia's in on goal. Come on, son. That's his 2nd of the season as well. So 2-2 for him. 2-2 for Osuna. We are back in front, and this is what we want to see. We're in Spain, everybody, and look at the difference in the grounds. I'm not sure how many people we got here, though. But it's a rebound, though. But he hardly put his foot on the ground, did he? Luckily he kept his leg up, as if he knew. Oh, that's close. As if he knew the ball was going to come back out. But don't mind seeing that all day long. Manur, can you play out on the wing? What you like? Well, you know what? I think I'm going to play you out there. No, you can play it out there. Arribas can come in deep like Kunku. How are you playing? 6.8. I'm going to break Fofana off. I'm going to bring in Arribas. He can go Mizella. Cordero. We could bring him on. You can go on the right hand side. Can you play on the right hand side? We're struggling for players to play on either side. Cordero, can you play there? 3-man substitution. Risky, I believe. But I think we can do it. Let's concentrate, guys. One's over Minute. Corner ball. And I don't know what happened there, but Basila scores. quite a little bit of time to update there. Don't know what really happened, but Mané with a good cross. And Basila, beautiful play. I'm glad I kept him on now. But that's a cracking goal. And 3-1 at home to Villarreal. And, oh, there's another corner. I thought there was a replay. Oh, Castro this time. Mané, what a ball. How have we found ourselves a left winger? I know Mané is 32, 33 years old. I was thinking of offloading him. Great ball out wide to Kemp. Cross comes in, not quite, but Villarreal do break. Now, we did fall asleep in the last game in the last seconds. Arribas picks it up to Mané. But yeah, Mané, I'm glad I've hung on to him. I think we're going to hang on to some of these players for the time being. I mean, again, we've fallen asleep. Half a minute to go in the whole game, and we've fallen asleep yet again at the back. The back four really does need sorting out. I'm not happy. I mean, look at that. He's on his own, just inside the post though, but we do still lead 3-2. Garcia's injured now. Great. Good job we got another £50 million striker on in the team. Arribas out wide. Klaus. And that... If they come away with a no. Just get rid. We definitely need a left back. And we're going to have to look for one. I know we're supposed to sign high profile players, but without the money we can't do it. But either way, it is a 3-2 victory. Castro made his 75th league appearance there. Nothing to address after that. Assertively say it's important to now switch our focus to the next match and not become complacent. Okay, quite reasonably happy there. That is a game in Spain. A little bit different to the French football. A little bit quicker, I think. But if we can replicate what we did with Marseille and bring in some young blood, I think it'd be more or less, if we can get into Europe, we'll get some more money. But that is the way to go at the moment. But as it stands, we are third in the table. It's a nice little run we go. Goals we're conceding. Again, I think a goalkeeper. I think it's more or less it's our back four. We do need to change our back four. Right and left back is okay. We could do another left back, probably another quality left back. But definitely in the centre, we need somebody who's going to be strong. Somebody like a Van Dijk type player. But where we're going to get one of them and how much money we're going to have to pay out, I've got no idea. But either way, we will be returning. I think what we'll do, unless there's anything that happens beforehand, we're going to come back to the Alves and Atletico Madrid game. 2 home games. Right, life in Spain has begun, and it's begun pretty well. So if you enjoy that, please pop a like on there. Like to see more new to the channel, please subscribe. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. Thank you.